Sir, we are live now.
Thank you, sir. General Bipin Rawat, Param Vishesh Seva Medal, Uttam Yudh Seva Medal, Ati Vishesh Seva Medal, Yudh Seva Medal, Sena Medal, Vishesh Seva Medal, and ADC, Aide de Camp. Dr. Hari Babu Srivastav, Outstanding Scientist, DRDO, Sri Ashish Saraf, Vice President and Country Director, TAILS India, distinguished chairs, speakers, panelists, participating serving officers from the three services, scientists from DRDO, esteemed veterans, delegates, and participants from the industry and academia, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and on behalf of St. George and General Ravi Arora, Chief Executive Officer, Indian Military Review, I welcome all of you to this webinar and virtual expo on cutting edge and future technologies. Now, this webinar is indeed special. 15th October is the 90th birth anniversary of our late President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, which is also celebrated as the World Students' Day. The Missile Man of India, as we all know, was an iconic space scientist too, and he tirelessly inspired our countrymen, and especially the students and the scientific community at large, igniting the spirit of innovation. So, as we today pay solemn tributes to the people's president as he is known, it's an apt occasion to recall his vision and dream for India, his standards for Indian creativity and innovation. And we must introspect if our endeavors are aligned with our aspirations. But to do this reality check, it will help to recall what Dr. Kalam did while addressing the students of IIT Delhi way back, about 10 years back, 2012. Disappointed that India ranked 64th in the Global Innovation Index, he exhorted the nation to propel India amongst the first 10, and his timeline was 5 years. He advocated that the mantra of creative education, especially education of women, is the key to this success. Sadly, even before he breathed this last on 27 July 2015, India slipped to the 81st rank in 2014. And that we have now inched back to the 46th rank in the index just declassified this year. This should bolster our confidence and our hopes. The Technology and Innovation Report of 2021, put together by United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, which covers 11 frontier technologies, including artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data, blockchain, 3D printing, robotics, drones, gene editing, 5G, nanotechnology, and solar PV. In its index on readiness for frontier technologies, has placed India at the 43rd position. But interestingly, has adjudged it fourth in R&D ranking. So there is room and reason, therefore, for faith in our collective abilities and endeavors. Now, our promise and potential as innovators is beyond doubt. What we need are interventions to leverage the innate innovation and creativity and break the shackles of legacy processes and policies. And that is being done. Recent initiatives like IDEX, Defense India Startup Challenge, Dare to Dream of DRDO, and hand holding of MSMEs through procedures like Make 2 are just the right measures to realize the Atmanirbharta in defense R&D. Achievements of DRDO in traditional areas like radars, communications, aerospace, rockets, and missiles have done the country proud. As also the very agile response by DRDO during the challenge of COVID-19. However, indeed, several challenges remain. The fourth industrial revolution, as we all know, is sweeping the war-fighting landscape at an unprecedented scale and speed, driven largely by a fusion of emerging technologies which are inherently dual use, both civil and military. All stakeholders, industry, academia, scientists, the users, must therefore come together to draw up a pragmatic roadmap for technologies, like artificial intelligence, cyberspace, communications and sensors, terahertz technology, unmanned and autonomous systems, seekers, directed energy weapons, materials, and hypersonics. I've just named a few. And we must offer timely, realizable, and cost effective indigenous solutions to underpin the integrated capability development for our armed forces. And that is what we propose to do over the next 2 days. Now, we are fortunate indeed that the Honorable Rajaraksha Mantri, the Chief of Defence Staff, and Chairman DRDO, besides Mr. Saraf, in the inaugural session, are sharing their vision to guide our deliberations. After a short audiovisual tribute to our late President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, we will commence the proceedings with a recorded address by Dr. Satish Reddy, Secretary Defense R&D and Chairman DRDO. I'll ask the organizers to now play the tribute.
It was May 11th, 1998, when the ground shook in Pokhara and awakened the world to see emergence of a new India. It was beginning of a new era, which is marked with Red Letter Day in the history of India. Operation Shakti took the world by surprise and gave Shakti to India. Here, a significant credit goes to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who had dreamt and made India a self-reliant, strong nation. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, coming from a humble beginning with early schooling in Rameshwaram, reached to the highest seat of the country, the President of India. In the first phase of his career, Dr. Kalam joined ADE at Bangalore as a senior scientific assistant in 1958 and designed the first hovercraft before joining ISRO. In his 2 decades association with ISRO till 1982, Dr. Kalam turned into a successful space scientist. The second phase of his career started with joining the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, in 1982. Under his leadership, India has been able to develop strategic missiles like Agni and Prithvi, and tactical missiles like Nag, Akash, and Trishul. Dr. Kalam served as the principal scientific advisor to the Government of India in the rank of Cabinet Minister from November 1999 to November 2001. His fourth phase took a sudden turn when he became the President of India on 25th July 2002. Dr. Kalam also brought a spirit of dedicated service and inspirational zeal to this highest office, which earned him the title of the People's President. Recognition and respect for his many achievements came through a number of awards that include the Padma Bhushan, the Padma Vibhushan, and the Bharat Ratna awards. The man who had a very humble beginning and started his career from shores of Rameshwaram, who believed in both Quran and Gita, who daily offered namaz and played veena, continues to live in the heart and minds of every Indian.
Thank you, sir. That was inspirational indeed. Um, we would now shortly listen to an address by Dr. G. Satish Reddy, Secretary, Department of Defense R&D and Chairman, DRDO. As we all know that he spearheads indigenous development of strategic and major defense systems and cutting-edge technologies in all domains of warfare. He is a visionary leader and a scientist who has deeply impacted the development of the best-in-class systems for the Indian Armed Forces. Acclaimed as one of the leading aerospace scientists of the nation, Dr. Reddy is also Director General of Aeronautical Development Agency, which has developed the fourth generation light combat aircraft Tejas, which you all are aware is now already has been inducted in the Indian Air Force. So without much ado, we will listen to the recorded address by Dr. Reddy.
Very good morning. Honorable Rajya Raksha Mantri Sri Ajay Bhattji, Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, General Sunil Srivastav, Major General Arora, my colleague, the Director General DRDO, Dr. Hari.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy and absentia, and we'll be guided by your observations. Uh, I would now request General Rawat, the Chief of Defence Staff, to share his thoughts with us. As I mentioned in my inaugural opening salutations, he is a highly decorated soldier. He is an alumnus of the Defence Services Staff College and the National Defence College, also a graduate of the Command and General Staff Course, Fort Leavenworth in the United States. He is a warrior scholar who also holds a doctorate. Over the last 4 decades and more, through his challenging command assignments, whether it was an infantry battalion, a Rashtriya Rifles sector, a multinational brigade in Congo, an infantry division in JNK, a corps in the Northeast, and the Southern Army, as also through his varied and very critical challenging staff assignments in the Military Operations Directorate, as the MVGS of the Eastern Command, as also as the Vice Chief of the Army Staff, he has indeed shaped the infusion and use of technology in the armed forces. We all are aware that he has been pivotal in instituting transformational changes in the Army, first as the COS, and now he's doing the same for all the 3 services as the Chief of Defence Staff. So without much ado, may I now request you, sir, to share your views.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. The Honorable RRM, Secretary Defense R&D and Chairman DRDO, Director St. George, ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed very honored that on this historic occasion to remember and recall the achievements of Bharat Ratna, Shri Abdul Kalam, who has been the Secretary and Chairman R&D and DRDO, as also our President and Supreme Commander. The DRDO, along with St. George, has decided to conduct this webinar on cutting edge and futuristic technologies. This is an apt tribute to a great personality like late Shri Abdul Kalam. He's a pioneer scientist, then indeed an inspirational leader. Got christened as the missile man of India. I think today, if India's R&D is proud of anything, it is our missile technology, and we owe it to him. He's been a people's president, always loved and respected. And before I begin, I would like to recall some of his statements that he had made during his lifetime. And prominent among these are when he said, dreams are not what you experience in your sleep. Dreams are those that do not let you sleep. So I'm sure it is from these statements that our scientific organization, the DRDO, draws inspiration. Another statement which has always been experienced and has enchanted me is when he said, to shine like the sun, you must first burn like the sun. So I'm quite sure that statements of these, which were adapted by late Shri Abdul Kalam, the Honorable President and Secretary R&D, these are the statements from which I am sure our future scientists and our DRDO draws their inspiration. And with that as the backdrop, I am quite confident that DRDO is all set in contributing immensely to the defense, to the network of their more than 50 labs that they have, covering diverse fields from aeronautics to armament to electronics, combat vehicles, engineering systems, instrumentation, missile, radar technology, and what have you. DRDO therefore must empower India with cutting-edge technology so that we can truly become a nation which has Indian manufactured equipment being provided to our armed forces. Impetus on Atmanirbhar Bharat, especially in the critical defense technology, therefore gains significance. We must equip our armed forces with state-of-art weapon systems and equipment, which are the requirement of our armed forces in case we have to be ever prepared for future combat and for defense of our nation. Successful indigenous development and production of some of our strategic missile systems, the light combat aircraft Tejas, which is still improving, and I'm sure we'll come out with better versions and it will become finally a state-of-art aircraft. Our MBRL, the Pinaka, and a wide range of radars and early warning systems have indeed given a quantum jump to India's military might, providing crucial leverage to the Indian Armed Forces. DRDO has also assisted our armed forces in attaining indigenization in airborne early warning and control systems, something which we are very proud of. Netra, making India only one of the 4 countries to develop this technology, supplemented by UAVs like the Rustam, Nishant, and drones. These are, of course, being improved over time by the DRDO, and I'm quite confident that finally we will have very high technology and excellent products in our armed forces. One of the 7 countries to develop indigenous MBT, the MBT Arjun, is indeed now being equipped with superior firepower, so I'm sure this will become a main battle tank for armed forces in the future. Ballistic missile defense, including niche ASAT capability, has also been demonstrated by DRDO along with ISRO. We are heading for making a 4th generation aircraft, Tejas, and the 5th generation AMCA, which is presently under development. We hope that this will find its way into the inventory of our Indian Air Force sooner than later. DRDO must also step up its research and development to fill critical capability gaps we have as of now. We have promulgated 2 positive indigenization lists, and therefore DRDO must engage the indigenous private industry as production partners to design and develop these equipment and armament on a war footing, such that the best weapon is available to our armed forces in a timely manner. I would, on this historic occasion, urge the DRDO to develop niche and disruptive technologies, which actually are going to become the future systems of warfare. The hypersonic technology, demonstrator vehicles, quantum key distribution, and ASAT technology are some such examples. DRDO is continuing to do yeoman service to strengthen our defense sector. We are confident that DRDO, along with our DPSUs, but more importantly, with the private industry, will come up with solutions to meet the future requirements of our armed forces, and that the scientists in our DRDO establishment will leave no stone unturned to ensure that they burn like the sun to shine like the sun, according to late Dr. Abdul Kalam, and that this can only be accomplished if we focus on niche technologies, we utilize our academia along with our scientific community and the industry to develop systems, and we are confident that we will win the future wars with indigenous systems. With this, I wish to compliment DRDO and St. George for having organized this webinar. We are confident that the eminent speakers who will be discussing various issues during this very important seminar on futuristic technologies will come up with solutions or with problem statements to which DRDO and our scientist community there will identify solutions for the future. I wish the seminar and all the participants the very best of luck and Godspeed to all of you. Dhanyavad and Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for those very encouraging words, particularly peppered by inspirational the quotes from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam himself, and also flagging a few requirements of the future for the armed forces. I'm sure, sir, your vision and your observations will guide our deliberations over the next 2 days. Um, Thank you so much, sir, for taking out the time to be with us on this special occasion. Now we'll move on, and much as we would have liked to have had the Rajya Raksha Mantri amidst us today, addressing us in person, we have a recorded statement by Sri Ajay Bhatt, the Minister of State for Defence and Tourism. A very brief introduction is in order. Sri Bhatt is a law graduate and is a member of the Parliament and was also the state president of the BJP in Uttarakhand. Earlier, he was a MLA from Ranikhet and has served as cabinet minister in Uttarakhand, holding varied portfolios like parliamentary affairs, health, and disaster management. He assumed the present appointments on the 7th of July this year. So I'll request the organizers now to kindly play the address of the Honorable Rajya Raksha Mantri. Thank you.
आदरणीय जनरल बिपिन रावत, चीफ ऑफ डिफेंस स्टाफ,
So on behalf of all of us, I convey our sincere thanks to Sri Ajay Bhatt, Honorable Raj Raksha Mantri, for having shared his vision and his thoughts with us. And I assure him that over the next 2 days and in the days to come, years to come, we'll be guided by his inspirational thoughts. We now move on, and I would request Sri Ashish Saraf, Vice President and Country Director, Thales India, to share his thoughts with us. A very brief introduction would be in order. He leads the Thales business activities in India, including defense, aerospace, transportation, digital identity, and security. Thales partnerships, including joint ventures as well as engineering competency centers. He has earlier served with Airbus Helicopters, headed the Tata Sikorsky joint venture in Hyderabad, and has also worked with uh, uh, Deloitte Consulting and Dassault Systems in the USA and Europe. So over to you, Mr. Saraf.
Thank you, General Srivastav, Honorable Raksha Rajya Mantri, Shri Ajay Bhatt, Chairman DRDO, Dr. Satish Reddy, General Bipin Rawat, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you, St. Joe's, for allowing this opportunity for Thales to present the industry address at this occasion. It's my honor and privilege to offer tribute to Bharat Ratna late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who has been a guiding scientist over decades and decades and always will be through his principles. We stand with India at every step of the way. India has shown the will and muscle to become a global manufacturing and innovation hub. And to realize this, India is increasing our efforts to boost indigenous research, development, manufacturing, along with facilitating global industry players to partner with Indian industry. And Thales is fully aligned with his strategy. As you are aware, Thales is a global high technology leader investing in digital deep tech innovations, connectivity, big data, analytics, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and quantum technology to build a future that we all can trust, which is vital to the development of our country and the societies at large. With presence in over 68 countries, we provide solution that helps our customers specifically in defense, aeronautics, space, transportation, digital identity, and security solutions to fulfill our customers' critical missions. Make in India is our long-term vision, and we are in full support of Government of India's Atmanirbhar narrative, which is the enabler for our growth momentum. In line with the country's objective of creating an aerospace and defense ecosystem, Thales has been fully committed to Make in India as well as exports from India. We are present in country since 1953. We have been continually working as a trusted partner, contributing to our growth story across all of our markets in India, specifically in defense, aerospace, transportation, and digital identity and security solutions. Today, with over 1,800 strong workforce and partnerships that span across 75 different local partners, starting from small, medium, large industries, academia, institutions. We are proud that beyond us, we are creating thousands of jobs locally, direct and indirect, through our supply chain partnerships as well as industry relationships. Reinforcing our engineering presence, we at Thales are also ramping up our engineering and research and development activities with over 1,300 engineers working in Noida, Gurgaon, as well as Bangalore Engineering Competency Centers. We have centers, our center in Bangalore, currently focused on defense, aerospace, and transportation, is engaged in high value added software domains, open hardware research, which we do with academic institutions, as well as solutions for drones, drone ID, and unmanned traffic management solutions, as well as hardware design. The open hardware research is specifically noteworthy, which we have directly launched in collaboration with academic institutes. Engineering Center in Noida and Gurgaon are currently focused on digital activities specifically related to data protection, cloud protection, encryption services, cybersecurity, IoT, as well as biometrics and big data analytics. All this we don't do just as a support center, but we actually do research and development activities in India that aid not only our products for India, but also for the world. Digitization is a major priority for Government of India, and even so more in the post-COVID world. Our deep investments in digital connectivity, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and quantum computing position Thales as a credible partner to accompany the digital transformation of our country across different sectors. Uh, we, in fact, are a global leader in end-to-end digital security. We had anticipated the explosion of digital technologies and had invested over 7 billion euros in this domain over the last 5 years. And we are here for the country to benefit from our high-tech solutions for a safer world, a greener world, and a more inclusive world. Our teams in India are helping fuel this momentum in digital, both in India for India and India for the world. We have prestigious references in digital identity and security domains across the country. In data protection solutions for insurance, finance, oil, and telecom sector, we also work with the UIDAI in this domain, working with OEMs, IoT service providers to provide embedded SIMs as well as on-demand connectivity specifically for telecom companies on cutting-edge technologies like Geo. Our 4G wireless and M2M modules under IoT for various applications are offered for home of automation, industrial systems, and much, much more. We support the Digital India initiative in our country with solutions developed right here in India on 5G, smart metering, airport modernization, and biometrics, as well as cybersecurity. As Dr. Reddy mentioned, the fourth and fifth dimension of warfare are mainly in unmanned systems and space. The future of warfare lies right there, and recent events in India and across the world have demonstrated the need to get ahead in these areas. Thales' solutions, specifically in the UAVs, counter UAVs, and integration, are world-class. Our jamming, detection from detecting a fly to classifying a UAV as a friend or a foe, to protection solutions such as hard kill and directed energy, and all these in a portable format. Thales is ready to assist the country in deploying best-in-class solutions in full alignment with our vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Same is true with space and space-related expertise. Thales Alenia Space has over 40 years of expertise in designing and delivering high-technology solutions for navigation, telecommunication, Earth observation, surveillance, exploration, and defense requirements. Our collaborations and solutions like Black Sky, Copernicus constellations enable high resolution imagery even on a point and shoot basis on locations that we typically require for the security of our country. We see various opportunities in observation in collaboration with various Indian stakeholders like DRDO and ISRO, as well as local industry and defense ecosystem. We are keen to leverage our space expertise in India and looking at co-development and partnerships with the local industry and research organizations. With India starting to become a drone hub and the government's vision of getting India a drone hub by 2030, the central government has notified Drone Rules 2021. We are pleased to see the mention of safety and security features like no permission, no takeoff, real-time tracking beacons, geofencing, and more. This new regulation will enable our Indian skies to remain safe as the drone technology evolves. Thales has recently launched Scale Flight, a portfolio of solutions again developed right here in Bangalore to enable safe and secure drone operations. With Scale Flight Remote ID, which is like a virtual license plate, a drone can be geolocated, geofenced, and identified along with its remote partner, pilot and tracked right on the mobile phone or a smartphone and integrated with unmanned traffic management systems, which we have been a pioneer in providing. With this, I would say that it has been a privilege to witness the transformation of our country to digital. We remain committed and back the Indian government's aim of building Atmanirbhar Bharat. We continue to develop local skills, partnerships, and innovations to bring cutting edge and futuristic technologies in artificial intelligence, IoT, cybersecurity, quantum, space, UAVs, counter UAVs, and much, much more to make sure that the futuristic technologies becomes a reality for our country. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashish. And through your very brief intervention, it was very clear that your core strengths are very much aligned with the areas which are of importance to us and which were flagged both by Dr. Reddy as well as by the Chief of Defense Staff. So I'm sure with this layered and deep engagement that we have been having with not just industry but also with academia and the scientific community here in India, we are very sanguine that today's engagement too would go a long way towards fructifying in some deliverables together. As you said, co-development, partnerships, and so that local skilling can be done. So we indeed look forward to those ventures. And thank you so much for your intervention. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on now to the next session, it remains for me to, in particular, thank the Chief of Defense Staff, Honorable Raj Raksha Mantri, Dr. Reddy, Sri Ashish, and also Dr. Haribabu Srivastav, outstanding scientist from DRDO, and in particular, Dr. Ranjana from DRDO, who have been really instrumental in putting this event together. It was planned and conceived for a long period of time, and getting the experts together on one platform has been an untiring effort on their part. So thank you so much, and thank you everyone for being with us in this session.
Thank you, sir. Before we close, let me announce that we will now open the next session, session number 2, where everybody is requested to log in or migrate, and we will wait for 5 minutes before we start with session number 2. Thank you.